All right, let's talk about what happens after a crisis. Chapter 19, Looking Forward, is really a strategic case study for any of you who see yourselves as future IS leaders. It's not about just surviving the fire. It's about navigating the really complex choices that come with success. Think of this chapter as your playbook for that critical turning point in your career. Okay, so the chapter kicks off with an absolute bombshell. Our main character, CIO Jim Barton, gets a call from the legendary CEO Robert Goldman, who just drops this line on him. It's an on-the-spot job offer to be Chief Operating Officer. I mean, no interviews, no formal process, nothing. Just a simple, career-defining choice, yes or no. And this really gets to the heart of the whole chapter, right? Why would a CIO who's only been in the job for a year get an offer like this for a top COO role without even an interview? The answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about what it means to be a strategic digital leader in today's business world. So it's been 1 year and 1 day since Jim was thrown into the CIO role. And he hasn't just survived that trial by fire, he has absolutely thrived. He's managed to transform the IT department into a real strategic asset. So to figure out why he's at this crazy crossroads, we've got to look back at how he got here. So how'd he do it? Well, to really get a handle on Jim's value, we're going to do what he does in the chapter. We're going to look at the hard-won wisdom he's been scribbling on his office whiteboard all year. We're going to break down these lessons using 3 different lenses that are just crucial for any IS professional: the organizational, the managerial, and of course the information technology lens. First up, the organizational lens. We're looking at the big picture here. How did Jim's leadership fundamentally change things? We're talking about the department's structure, the team's entire culture, and even the company's competitive footing. And what's so interesting is that his lessons aren't really about servers or code. They're all about people and partners. He was laser-focused on developing his talent, properly managing vendors, and making sure he didn't get stuck with a lone genius bottleneck. But my favorite part? It's when he erases wild WLO. That was his predecessor's nasty little prediction that you won't last 1 year. That one simple act just says so much about the massive cultural shift he created. Okay, next, let's switch to the managerial lens. This is all about the art and science of leading people. What were the key decisions, the communication strategies, and the people skills that really defined his success? The big aha moment for Jim was realizing that IT management is really just about management, first and foremost. Yeah, the technical stuff matters, but it's the soft skills that make all the difference. He learned to deliver bad news early, to build trust by being transparent, and, this is absolutely critical, to translate complex tech jargon into plain business language. That is how you move IT out of the server room and into the boardroom. And finally, we have the information technology lens. Now, this isn't just about the tech itself. It's about the frameworks and the mental models that Jim used to govern technology, manage all the systems, and actually execute a real digital strategy. One of his first huge insights came from this one piece of data. A staggering 60% of all IT resources were just being used to keep the lights on. Just having that number, just being able to show that to people, gave him a powerful tool to argue for modernizing and to free up his team to work on actual innovation. And to manage that innovation, he came up with this really simple but brilliant 3-bucket framework for IT spending. First, you've got your mandatory projects. Think security, compliance. Second, ROI projects with a clear, predictable return. And third, OCI, or opportunistic cost investment, which was for the game-changing breakthrough ideas. What this did was make sure every single dollar was tied directly to the company's biggest goals. So just when you think the pressure can't get any higher, as Jim is wrestling with this huge offer from Goldman, the dilemma gets even bigger. A second, even more surprising proposal comes out of nowhere, which just proves what a valuable strategic asset he's become. So here you can really see the 2 paths opening up in front of him. Goldman's offer is a path back to general management as a COO, where he'd use his IT knowledge from a different vantage point. The second offer, from his friend Jonathan Luce, is a chance to double down on tech leadership as the CIO of a global bank that's 10 times bigger than his current company. It's a classic choice. Do you broaden your scope into general management, or do you deepen your expertise on a massive global scale? Okay, so now that you've got this set up, I want to give you a little guide for when you actually read the chapter. As you go through it, I want you to look for these key issues from a strategic, executive level point of view. First, from an organizational standpoint, I want you to think about the ripple effects. I mean, what would happen to the team he fought so hard to build if he just up and left? What does this story really teach us about creating genuine loyalty versus just having people who happen to work for you? Next, really watch for all the managerial trade-offs. This chapter is just full of them. Jim has to balance his own career goals against his deep sense of loyalty to his team. He thinks about his own boss's willingness to play close to the ethical line. I mean, these are the messy, real-world dilemmas that leaders have to deal with every single day. And finally, on the tech side of things, pay close attention to the dual approach Jim uses. He relies on structured governance, like ITIL, to create stability. That's the keeping the lights on part. But he also embraces an agile mindset for innovation, like those OCI projects. This blend of stability and agility, that is the hallmark of modern IT leadership. So, let's wrap this up and really nail down the core idea of this chapter, the one that connects directly to your own journey as a future information systems leader. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The most valuable leaders, the ones who get these incredible opportunities, are the ones who become a master of two worlds. They're totally fluent in technology, and they're totally fluent in business strategy. But crucially, they know how to translate between those two worlds to create value that neither side could ever achieve on its own. Ultimately, this chapter is kind of a mirror. It gives you a framework you can use for your own leadership development. So as you read it, and more importantly, as you move forward in your own career, ask yourself this one question. What lessons are going to be on your whiteboard?